All right, hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're exploring a seriously fascinating transformation. We're going to take a super cinematic, step-by-step look at how really basic raw ingredients are fundamentally changed into a massive, globally consumed product. We're talking about the incredible manufacturing journey of energy drinks. I am so excited to guide you guys through this because honestly, when you actually break down the factory process, it feels way less like basic manufacturing and a whole lot more like modern-day industrial alchemy.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually goes into the industrial alchemy of your absolute favorite energy drink? We're skipping the usual agenda today, mostly because we really need to match the fast documentary-style pacing of the actual factory floor. Like, what really goes into that can you grab from the convenience store fridge? It's not just a simple recipe, it's this highly choreographed sequence of science, engineering, and just sheer speed. We're going to break down that exact sequence, from literally the very first drop of liquid all the way to the final sealed box.
You know, to truly grasp this process, you can't just stare at a recipe card. You really have to experience the sensory overload of the factory floor itself. I want you to imagine looking through a director's lens, fast transitions of automated lines, extreme close-ups of mechanical precision, smooth camera movements, and the roaring, ultra-realistic sounds of heavy industry. We're going to visualize this whole thing with that exact level of intensity. Because the sensory experience here, it's honestly just as crucial as the physical chemistry happening inside those massive vats.
So, our journey actually starts out incredibly calm. Picture a smooth, continuous flow of purified water pouring into these massive, gleaming stainless steel mixing tanks. This right here is the foundation. It basically acts as the ultimate blank canvas for our industrial alchemy. We're talking thousands and thousands of gallons of pristine water, just waiting to be fundamentally transformed by the super complex chemistry that's about to follow.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we take that perfectly calm water and introduce, well, absolute chaos. We drop in all these raw, chaotic powders and concentrated liquids. You've got caffeine for that immediate jolt, taurine to help regulate cellular energy, a really complex array of B vitamins, and of course, the sharp acidic bite of citric acid just to perfectly balance out those intense sweeteners and flavors. And these core additives don't just gently float into the tank, right? They are dynamically mixed, violently colliding and dissolving into our water foundation.
And this is exactly where the true alchemy kicks in. On one hand, you have these completely disparate, chaotic raw powders and intense liquid concentrates. But then, through the sheer mechanical force of industrial mixing, they go through this complete metamorphosis. They become a unified, high-tech liquid energy blend. The individual parts literally disappear, perfectly homogenized into one smooth, singular product. That right there, that is the true science of the factory process.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because mixing is really only the beginning. Now we enter the refining phase. First up, the liquid gets aggressively filtered to guarantee absolute microscopic purity. Next, the temperature drops super fast as the blend is chilled to absolute perfection. And actually, that temperature drop isn't just about making it taste good cold. It's chemically necessary to stabilize the liquid so it can reliably hold on to the carbon dioxide gas we're about to inject. And finally, the magic touch, carbonation. That flat liquid suddenly becomes alive, bubbly, and effervescent.
I really want you to actively engage your senses right now. Just picture yourself standing right next to those massive steel tanks. Imagine the realistic factory sounds completely enveloping you. You'd feel this heavy, rhythmic hum of the machinery literally vibrating right up through the floor. And then, cutting straight through that deep hum, is the sharp, distinct hiss of pressurized carbon dioxide being forcefully injected into that chilled liquid. That hiss, that is the exact sound of the formula being finalized.
Then, suddenly, the pace completely explodes as the liquid hits the high-speed conveyor belt. The timeline here is honestly staggering. Check this out. In a single second, an empty aluminum can is filled. Second 2, it's sealed completely airtight. Second 3, an automated laser zaps a fresh date code right onto the metal. And by the 4th second, a vibrant, colorful label is seamlessly wrapped around the can. It is this rapid-fire mechanical ballet, and it's happening so incredibly fast it's practically a blur to the human eye. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you'd need high-speed 4K cinematic cameras just to comprehend what's actually happening. The machinery doing the filling, the sealing, the printing, and the labeling moves with such lightning-fast precision that traditional observations simply can't keep up with this automated assembly line. I mean, the sheer scale and the speed of this physical engineering is, honestly, just as impressive as all that chemical engineering we saw happening inside the mixing vat. It's just so fascinating to step back and look at the entire spectrum of this process, right? We started our journey in this very fluid, flowing environment of mixing tanks. It was all about chemistry, dissolution, and careful temperature control. But as we get to the end of the line, the whole environment totally shifts. It becomes this crazy world of rigid, rapid-fire mechanics. We completely trade the smooth flow of water for the ultra-precise, exacting geometry of automated production.
Which brings us to the highly satisfying final phase. All those freshly labeled, fully energized cans are systematically gathered up. Then, these precision robotic arms, operating with just flawless synchronization, sweep down and pack the cans right into boxes. It's a wildly mesmerizing, ultra-realistic visual to end our tour on. A literal symphony of robotics neatly packaging up our industrial alchemy, sealing the boxes, and sending them off for global shipment.
So the crucial point is this. An energy drink isn't just a beverage. It's an absolute triumph of modern engineering. From the blank canvas of purified water to the chaotic mix of vitamins, the chilling carbonation, and finally that lightning-fast robotic ballet that seals it all up in aluminum. Next time you crack open a cold can and hear that distinct carbonated hiss, will you picture the incredible cinematic industrial alchemy that brought it perfectly to your hands? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep staying curious.